What if you could design your ultimate battleship, command fleets, and conquer the seas in a world where your creativity is the only limits? That is, if you pass the prototyping stage. Welcome to From the Depths, where today we'll dive into what makes this game so unique, challenging, and frankly addictive. From the complex building mechanics to the massive battles against fully dynamic factions, there's so much to explore. But first, let's break down what From the Depths is all about. From the Depths is a sandbox strategy game that puts you in the shoes of an engineer, a tactician, and a naval commander all in one. This is you, a robot named Saddam whose goal is simple: build epic machines and destroy your enemies before they destroy you. There are multiple game modes to explore, including the campaign, adventure, and designer mode. All my homies loves adventure modes, but decide to stay on designer mode for months. In the game's campaign, you'll encounter several factions, each with its own flavor and style of combat. Each faction requires different strategies and vehicle designs to defeat, making the gameplay dynamic and challenging. Or you could just outsize them and win every time. In From the Depths, you'll encounter several powerful factions that each have their own unique characteristics, lore, and combat styles. Deepwater Guard. The Deepwater Guard is often considered the beginner faction until you meet the Crossbones and these damn squirrels. Their ships are cobbled together, often looking more like floating scraps than an actual ship. But what they lack in sophistication, they make up for in numbers and aggression. If the Deepwater Guard could be summed up in one phrase, it'd probably be functional chaos. Almost functional, at least. Maybe I'm being a bit too judgmental. The designs of these ships are pretty cool. For a noob. Onyx Watch. The Onyx Watch are the proud owners of ships that look less like boats and more like medieval castles that just so happen to float. And why, you ask? Because you can. Why sail on a ship when you can sail in your own fortress? These sea dwarfs believe in two things. Big guns, bigger walls. Who needs speed when you've got a floating fortress? It is undoubtedly satisfying seeing and listening to these cannons shooting down pesky pirates such as myself. So please subscribe to hear more of these cannons ASMR. Steel Striders. The Steel Striders are basically the America of the world of Nita. Fast, flashy, and loaded with tech that screams, "We're better and we know it." They love being number one, whether that's in speed, firepower, or just plain showing off. If it doesn't break the sound barrier, involve cutting-edge technology, or oil, they're not interested. These are ships where you would look and say,
"Hey, that's pretty good."
You would agree, won't you? If you don't, then I'm afraid democracy will find you. Twin Guard. The Twin Guard isn't just any faction, it's the product of two rogue AIs who are not only running the show, but are also in what can only be described as a deeply questionable relationship. They're like that couple you know who constantly fight, but somehow make it work, in a way that's mildly terrifying. I mean, look at this thing. What in the actual fuck? Although it is pretty cool, with the sound and all. White Flayers. The White Flayers are the faction that shows up to every party uninvited, wearing skulls, carrying way too many spikes, and talking a little too much about sacrifices. These guys are a full-blown cult and are not afraid of showing it. Aesthetically, their ships does look great. I personally like the fleet colors on these ships. Lightning Hoods. The Lightning Hoods are basically what happens when pirates discover lasers and decide that cannons are for chumps. These guys are obsessed, no, in love, with lasers. If it doesn't shoot beams of concentrated light that can melt steel, they don't want anything to do with it. Forget traditional pirate stuff like looting and plundering, they're all about high-tech precision and makes everything go zap. These techno-pirates are one of the most annoying factions to fight against. They are fast, agile, and just a tad bit crazy. Grey Talon. The Grey Talon is a steampunk faction that took one look at the ocean and said, "No thanks, we're flying." They might be allergic to seawater because they are all about aircraft. No ships, no boats, just pure sky action dopamine. But here's the thing, their aircrafts are terrifyingly good, both in looks and in action. If you're looking for an epic air battle, these guys will definitely deliver. When it comes to the skies, they dominate. And trust me, they will dominate you hard. So be a good submissive boy and don't cheese with submarines. Scarlet Dawn. The Scarlet Dawn is a faction that have their own personal death laser satellite. Yeah, these guys are packing high-tech alien gear that makes you wonder if they're even playing the same game. If you're up against the Scarlet Dawn, welcome to the end game. Their ships don't just float, they hover ominously, and when the sky starts glowing red, it's not a sunset. It's them, and they are about to hit you with lasers from space. You're not fighting a faction anymore, you're facing the final boss. All I can say to you is, good luck, because you will need it. So, what's the real meat of the game? It's the mechanics that drive the experience. Building mechanics. The heart of From the Depths is its building system. It's not just about slapping a few blocks together and calling it a ship. Well, you can try. You're designing everything, from the shape of the hull to the positioning of the guns, engines, and armor. The level of customization is absolutely insane. Whether you're creating a small patrol boat or a giant flying fortress, the options are endless. You can dive deep into designing propulsion systems like steam engines, turbines, and even particle cannons. The game rewards creativity, and there's always something new to try. Once your vehicle is built, it's time to see how it performs in battle, and the best way to test your firepower is against a marauder. Combat in From the Depths is physics-based, meaning that every shot you fire, every explosion, and every wave that hits your ship matters. The damage system in the game is somewhat realistic. Each hit have a possibility of disabling key components, rip apart structures, or even cause chain reactions that sink your ship in an instant. This makes combat both tense and rewarding as you watch your creations either dominate or crumble. The From the Depths community is where things get really wild. Players have built everything from a whole town on a submarine to replica naval warships straight out of World War II. The level of detail and creativity is absolutely mind-blowing. And if you're ever looking for inspiration or just want to skip the building process, head over to the Steam Community Workshop. You can download these insane creations with just a click. But it doesn't stop there. The modding scene takes it even further. You can add new factions, mechanics, and even completely overhauled campaigns. The possibilities are endless, and it keeps the game fresh no matter how long you've been playing. The Steam Workshop is your go-to hub for all things mods and community creations. If you love building, if you love strategy, or if you just want to blow stuff up in the most satisfying way possible, From the Depths is the game for you. Whether you're a new player or a veteran, the game always has a new challenge waiting for you. So if you haven't yet, give it a try and let me know what insane creations you come up with in the comments below. And hey, if you haven't already, please like the video and make sure to subscribe. Here is a free PNG kitten for you. Thank you for watching.